Here, a father approached me and said that my son was in the dining room when the terrorist attack took place. His son was then studying at a different yeshiva. When the shooting began, he ran out of the dining room to hide, but then he realized that a friend of his hadn't left the dining room. So he went back, and his friend, who had been shot in the leg, couldn't move. His friend was 6'3", and his son picked up his friend on his back with all the shooting going around and took him out of the dining room. Wow. So I only heard that today.
Wow, great strength. Unfortunately, under time, but you're doing very interesting work. We appreciate you being here with us. And your book is called Become Blessed, Jewish Spiritual Between East and West. Rabbi Yaakov Nagin has been our guest. Originally from the West Side, originally Ganak, now it's Nagin, which means melody, it's singing, and he's certainly going around the world trying to fuse and make harmony between Islam and Judaism, and also working with Eastern religions and trying to reach people, I guess, to be spiritual, to become more spiritual. So thank you for being with us. Look forward to having you back.
Thank you, Zev.
We miss you on the West Side.
Okay, it's great to be here this Shabbat.
And we're going to be right back. Don't go away.
The Jewish life is filled with special milestones: birth, bar and bat mitzvah, marriage, grandchildren. And though we don't like to discuss it, there are special moments to be found as we approach life's final milestone. I'm Rabbi Charles Rudansky, speaking to you about MJHS Hospice. MJHS was founded in 1907 to care for the Jewish community, and we still do. Hospice isn't just about dying, it's also about living, being comfortable in your own home, sharing photos and memories with children and grandchildren, celebrating the joys of a Jewish life. MJHS Hospice understands Jewish values because we live them. Really, who else would hand-deliver a challah before Shabbat? Whatever your degree of religious observance, learn more about our hospice care at home or the MJHS Ziklan Hospice at Menorah Center. Visit mjhshospice.org.
Hello, everybody. Dov Sherman speaking to you from the Holy Lands. Getting chilly here and rainy. And I've got the latest news out of Israel. Short report tonight, sponsored by Traveler's Choice. I got to give them my okay. I'm flying to America for Hanukkah again. I'm going to the dark galut, the gullus, where, the darker it is, the brighter the Hanukkah candles, but it's circumstances that are taking me to Chutz La'aretz. In any case, I'm flying with Traveler's Choice, of course. Yossi the Deborah and their dedicated staff. They'll fly you anywhere and everywhere across the universe, and they'll take care of all your travel needs. They'll take the trouble out of travel. Call Traveler's Choice at 212-868-8698, 212-868-8698. And of course, we're sponsored by the King of Carpeting, Quality Carpet. Tomorrow night, we have a longer segment, a news review, and whatever I can't get in tonight, I'll get in tomorrow night. And yes, Hashem, I hope. Sponsored by the King of Carpeting. Over 50 years in business, 20 cruising trucks serving you in the tri-state area. So for carpeting and flooring, you go to the King, and they're very concerned with your satisfaction more than the money and more than everything else. Okay, keep that in mind. And I've never met a customer that has not been satisfied with quality job. 214 Ditmas Avenue, right outside of Borough Park. Call them for store hours at 718-941-4200. To the news we go, and besides the accidents, Rahman al-Islam, so many people, so many accidents every day. It's horrible. I drive the roads. Boy, I wish this would be taken care of in a proper way and publicized. People have to slow down, stop tailgating. And everybody's racing. It's like a race here. In any case, the main news is Dr. Mordechai Kedar has said he's a professor of Arab studies at Bar Ilan University, and he was speaking at some sort of rally, pro-Netanyahu rally, and he said that Yigal Amir did not kill Yitzhak Rabin. By the way, 20% of Israelis, they did a survey. He says that it was a setup, a political setup by people that were against the Oslo Agreement, and he even gives the initials of the person that killed Rabin. His initials are YOR. R, but not Yitzhak Rabin. Somebody else will wire us about, the people across the country are scratching their heads. Who does he mean? Because his name is big. I met him. I must mention to you, Rachel Imeinu's Yahrzeit is coming up, not this Shabbos, next Shabbos. And there's the annual dinner of Evelyn Hayes, 25 years now since she purchased the building next to Cave Rachel. And thanks to her, Cave Rachel is open 24 hours a day. The actual Yahrzeit of Yitzhak Rabin, by the way, was Motzei Shabbos. Rachel Imeinu's Yahrzeit at that time, all those years ago, 1995, was on Shabbos, and Motzei Shabbos, the guy got plugged, In any case, Mordechai Kedar, I met him there, he spoke, and what a name he is. He's on TV all the time. But now Bar Ilan University wants to punish him discipline him, for what he said, and they're calling him to a meeting, and this and that, and he says if he's forced into this disciplinary action, he's going to give his, that he quits, what do you call resignation, a letter of resignation immediately, like, I don't need you. He's got this freedom of speech, and this is his opinion. And I've heard it before. I don't want to hear about it. And Netanyahu today condemned it, or he said he clearly does not agree with Dr. Mordechai Kedar, PhD in Arab Studies. And, the first time I met him was by the Rachel's Children dinner. Did I mention it's coming up the Saturday night after this one? And I would like everybody to support the amazing work of Evelyn Hayes and what she's done for Cave Rachel. In any case, at that time, I don't even remember what he was speaking about, but since then, he's on TV all the time, and he's a well-respected person, and he wants to express his opinion, and that's exactly what he did. And across the political map, people are condemning it, whatever else, but that's what he says, that Yigal Amir actually had blanks. Okay, I'm out of time. I'll speak to you again tomorrow night. We'll have a much longer session. Love you all. I'm Dov Shirin from Eretz HaKodesh. Bye-bye.
If you need some carpeting and flooring, Quality's got carpeting and flooring just for you. Quality, the king of carpeting. Quality, the king of flooring too.
For close to 50 years, Quality Carpet has been doing it for you with their own cruising trucks to complete the job. 214 Divis Avenue, right outside of Borough Park.
Quality, the king of carpeting.
Quality, the king of flooring too. Call 718-941-4200.
Did you ever consider hosting your own radio or television show? We can help you get on the air. Talkline Communications works with broadcasters as well as with TV and radio stations in New York and nationwide that lease time, all at competitive rates. We work with doctors, lawyers, and other professionals, as well as with ethnic broadcasters. For more information about hosting your own radio or TV show, please call 212-769-1925. 212-769-1925. And out of New York, call 1-866-MY-TV-SHOW. That's 1-866-MY-TV-SHOW.
Thank you for listening to Talkline Communications Network, America's leading Jewish radio and TV network since 1981. This concludes Jewish programming for tonight. For continuous, non-stop Jewish broadcasting, please go right now online to TalklineCommunications.com. For more information on all of Talkline's Jewish radio and TV shows, please call 212-769-1925 or email info@talklinecommunications.com.
Talkline's new 24-hour-a-day listen line is 712-770-0534. That's 712-770-0534. Listen online or in our listen line 24 hours a day. Enjoy. Thank you for listening.
The preceding program is a paid advertisement. The opinions and views expressed therein do not necessarily reflect those of AM 620 WSNR or its management.
This is AM 620 WSNR, Jersey City.
А не Прованский клуб.
Now I hear. Are we on? We are live. We're live. Welcome back, everybody. You are welcome to the Just Enough Heshy Show. And we're going to have a great show tonight, everybody, because, of course, as you know, Uncle Heshy has a lot to complain about, especially this week, man. Rachel, welcome back from Israel. Rachel, my beautiful co-host, how are you?
I'm doing great. And you know why I love coming here? I'm never sure whether or not I'm alive or dead till I come here. You can say, we're live. And
We're
I go,
live. Now, by the way, everybody, we have three special new guests. We have a very good friend of mine, Tzvi, who listens to me preach every single week, and he sits there quietly, such a nice boy. And my beautiful Aaron, who I love to grab and touch, but in a good way, in a nice way. Look how he's laughing. He knows I love him like my own little son. And then we have Chaim, who's getting married this week. So we got a lot of guests. Now, guys, when we talk, we can't talk over each other. So we're going to talk, and we're going to have a great show. By the way, and there's a rule on this show. Are you listening? Are you listening to me, Aaron? Can you talk into the mic, please? I don't hear what he said. Did you hear what he said?
I don't know, but Heshy, I think I just want to remind all of us that are on the mic that we're actually live on the radio.
We're live on the radio. Tzvi, say hello.
Hey, guys.
Tzvi, this is Tzvi. We're going to talk about what these guys do and why they're so special. But we have a rule on this show. I have a quote and a joke every show. You must laugh at the joke. Now, for the last couple of years, nobody laughs at my joke. I'm hoping finally somebody laughs this week.
I'm ready for it.
And that's why you brought four of us.
Okay. Anyways, we're going to start with a few little commercials. We have Chamula Jewelers. Just by the way, they're very nice people. They're located at 944 Kings Highway. They are a family-owned business for over 40 years, and they specialize in diamond engagement ring, eternity bands, and diamond jewelry. Or bring your own jewelry to redesign or freshen up for New York. Chamula Jewelers, Rachel.
They bring out the sparkle in you.
No, they've got the sparkle for you. You never get it right.
I don't think that's true. I think they bring out the sparkle in you is right, and you haven't gotten it right.
Yeah, you're right. Visit them at 944 Kings Highway, 718-336-1980. Go call them up or go in for special appointments, and they'll have a great time with you. And then, of course, we have ttstyles.com. That's Tehila Tishla, my beautiful daughter-in-law. She does hair, wigs, makeup. She helps you with wedding events. Her phone number is 718-675-6842, 718-675-6842, or check out her website, teeteestyles.com. And again, call her at 718-675-684. Tehila Tishla, she what?
I don't know. I'm afraid I might get it wrong. I'm going to leave it to you.
You can't do that. She brings out the beauty in you. You're just terrible, Rachel. Go back to Israel. I love you. Welcome back. Anyways, of course, we have.
So let's just practice for next week already.
We ready?
So the jewelers have the sparkle for you.
Right.
And Tehila brings out the beauty in you.
Wow.
Wow.
Rachel, you're wonderful. You know, Yankee didn't come because you don't let him talk on the show.
That's okay. We got a great replacement.
You got it.
You know what? I have the best idea. If you go to Tehila and then the jewelers, woohoo, you're going to be sparkling.
And beautiful.
People will need sunglasses from all the sparkle.
But he has no hair, my brother here.
Biotin. We're going to do that next advertisement. But
Anyway,
we got to get to politics. People want to hear what's going on.
Technical difficulties, 1504 60th Street. He helps you. This guy, Avi Fleisch, he's just wonderful. A great guy. He helps me with all my computer needs. 1504 60th Street, 718-259-4593, 718-259-4593. Technical difficulties for all your computer needs. He knows how to hook into your computer. 1504 60th Street. And then, of course, my favorite barber. 777 Barber. His name is Sam, 4225 18th Avenue. This guy's wonderful. He has handicapped ramps. He gives special discounts to the senior citizens and the special people from the hospital and all handicapped people. This guy's just wonderful. He talks all kinds of languages. I don't even understand half of them. 777 Barbershop, 4225 18th Avenue, 718-484-2499. Anyways, yes.
You did ask me to prepare a thing or two.
I have one more commercial.
I know, right before the commercial.
No, Green Line. You have to talk about Green Line.
Okay, right after this.
Okay.
Right after these. We'll be back after these messages.
No. Green Line Building Solutions. We're located at 5318 16th Avenue. We help you with vacate orders. Today, I happened to help a young girl with her vacate, got her back into a house, helped
you
her with
are just amazing.
I am amazing. Aaron, am I amazing?
You're incredible.
I like this boy. Look I'm so happy he sits next to me. He doesn't want to wear a headset. Anyways, we help you with stop work orders. We're located at 5318 16th Avenue. You can come in for a special appointment, 718-871-0382, or just pop into 5318 16th Avenue in the corner of 16th Avenue, 54th Street. We help you with everything we do. Communities, we help you with community events. We're also public. We help you with a lot of stuff. We have legal services, and we help you with ECB violations, stop work orders, plans, permits, and everything. 5318 16th Avenue, 718-871-0382. And don't forget, you can call into the show. What number can you call into the show?
718
303-9090. 718-303-9090. You can ask me anything, or you can text me on my cell phone, 718-288-7844. Watch us live on YouTube. I think we started the YouTube early this week, and you can watch us on Facebook Live. Now, boys, before we start the show, of course, you understand that Uncle Heshy, the Big H, has to say his quote. And this quote I made for you guys. You must accept responsibility for your life. Know that it is you who will get you where you want to go. No one else will. And you're going to hear about what our show is about, because these two boys are the ones who help people get their lives back in order, and they're just wonderful people.
I'm actually looking very forward to hearing about it. I hear us all about
Can I tell you my joke?
Drug rehab in 1 minute, because you did ask me to prepare.
I didn't tell you my joke.
We can't fight in public, and we're on the air.
No, but I'm going to tell you my joke. My joke always goes first.
If that's what you say, but I may laugh better after I tell you what I prepared.
Okay, go ahead. Wow.
Wow.
All right.
I know. She wins me. She beats me all the time. That's how she beat me in Israel, too. I told her not to drive 5 hours on the road. She drove 5 hours on the road.
I think our audience doesn't want to hear about that. But what they would like to hear
Yeah.
about is, number one, a moment of silence. My father was actually the commissioner for a moment of silence, and I just got called from the rabbi that has taken a more active lead that he would like me to get involved with that. So I'd like your opinion and all our callers on a moment of silence in the public schools. That's number one. Number two, I do remember that the entire Pesach, when you spoke for a room full of about 300 people,
I love you.
really, really moved people to tears. You blew them away. How you created an atmosphere of one family in a hotel where people are usually extremely cliquey and maybe even snobby, if I shall say. You got up and you told an amazing story, and it will always stay with me. And the only story that came close to it was one that I heard this time in Israel. So I would like to share it with our audience. It was just the yard site, the passing of the Reb Levi Yitzchak of Ardishev, who very much, I assume, was probably like you, the defender of Israel, always came to the defense of people and helped them out. And he had a favorite barber, and he went into him and he said to the barber, listen, you have a lot of hair in the front of your head. You don't look like a maybe very, very religious Jew. Would you take that off? I'll pay you 20 kopecks. He said, no way. I have, presidents coming and stopping by me and dignitaries, and they like this look. That's how I make more money than all the other barbers. He said, I'll pay you triple what they pay. He said, no, I'm not interested. Quadruple, until he went up to a phenomenal amount of money. He said, no. And if he was like you, Reb Levi, he said, what do you mean? What can I do to buy it from you to get you to take it off? And then he says, you know what? I will offer you, if you chop it off, it's called a chup, for those that know, that little wave. I'll offer you half of my place in the world to come. And in 1 minute, he took out his scissors and he cut it off. And Reb Levi Yitzchak turned to God and he said, God Almighty, look how sweet and dear are your children. They work so hard for 1 penny, running back and forth. They work for Green Line Solutions. They take care of your problems.
Green Line Building Solutions.
Green Line Building Solutions. I always
Located
like to
on
give you a
16th Avenue,
chance.
54th Street.
I just want to know if the
Located
barber
here?
was 777. That's all I want to know.
Sam's Bob, I bet you he was.
Hold on, I wanna
By the
tell
way,
you-
did you see how I beat you? I got to laugh on
You
my
are
first
wonderful.
line.
I can't tell my joke. This
Can
is
you repeat
terrible.
that so we can all laugh again?
Yeah.
But in any case, he said, look how dear they are. They work so hard, but they're not interested in the money. But the minute I offer them the world to come, they'll take it. Please grant the Jewish people a good year. We just ended up all of our holidays. We all wished each other to be written and sealed for a good year. You know, as Jews, we always have another chance. So we have until Hanukkah. And the last thing that I'll tell you before you tell your joke, what's the difference between a Jew and an Englishman? Do you know?
I don't want to hear it.
Oh, you
Please.
definitely
no.
do.
Oh, no.
An English person never leaves without saying goodbye. A Jewish person says goodbye and never leaves.
That is the worst joke possible.
Come on, that was such a good
That's the
joke.
worst
You weren't
joke possible.
expecting it. You can't
Anyways,
even believe it.
Can I just tell you finally, can I get to my joke, boys? Are you ready? Okay. Chaim, are you ready over there? Because you're getting married, you better start laughing. Anyway, what happened was when I was in 12th grade, me and my good friend Neil, we were locked up in some boarding school out of town, and we hated the dinners. They used to
That's a very
used to
strong
serve us
word.
the same junk all the time. So me and Neil came up with an idea. idea. What we're going to do is we're going to go buy 2,000 hot dogs. And this was back in the 1970s, okay? We went and bought 2,000 hot dogs, brought them to school, and we used to cook them on our little, iron, you iron your clothes.
No way.
Yeah,
That's super cool.
So anyways.
2,000 hot dogs. It take you like 3 weeks
No,
to
no.
cook
So
them?
what happened was a lot of the other kids were so excited, they wanted to buy our hot dogs. So they came to us, and me and Neil decided, you know what, let's start selling the hot dogs. And we used to sell them for $1.98 with a bun, dog, and no coleslaw or cucumbers, whatever, or a thing. We just put a little mustard on it, and people used to come and buy it for us. One of the guys, this guy Mutty, came over to says, "Hey Hesh, why should I buy your hot dog?" Another guy selling hot dogs in one of the other on the other buildings. He says he's only selling it for 75 cents. I said, okay, no problem. Why don't you go buy the hot dog by him? He ran out of hot dogs. I said, when we run out of hot dogs, we're going to also sell it for 50 cents.
That's really funny, actually.
You guys didn't laugh.
I did.
That wasn't funny. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm very upset right now.
I actually
Aaron
thought it
laughed.
was very
Aaron laughed.
funny.
He just wasn't by the
I
mic.
like your regular jokes.
Heshy,
better.
you've been you're a really
all the time.
I do. I speak every Wednesday. I go to this Kumsitz, and we have a lot of young guys there by my
I
friend
feel like we're
Belstrol.
having a kumsitz right here.
Now we have
Anyone
a lot
else
of guys
coming?
This is my delicious friend Yehuda. Okay, he's not even going to want to talk, but he's just delicious, and he's good looking. They're all delicious, all your orchids. Anyways, I want to tell you guys, I am very upset about a lot of things, and we're going to talk about what you guys are all about.
Heshy,
Yeah.
How was your hot dog stand on Sukkot? Can you tell us about it?
You know what happened? You won't believe it. I wanted to give out free hot dogs this Sukkot, but this year, since it's not an election year, our councilman and our state senator, who does nothing normally except smile and takes pictures with little kids, and really does nothing. I mean, I actually telling you, they do nothing. They walk around the street, they move cones, and they stand and take pictures with other people for birthday parties, and actually they do nothing. And
So what happened?
So what happened was I went to go set up my hot dog stand, because usually they close off 18th Avenue and give the kids free rides. Since it's not an election year, they decided, why should they funnel and steal money from the government this year, because they don't want to get caught. So they made no party this year. Nothing was on the street. And
So you bought all the hot dogs and you had them in your freezer?
Well, no, I have Lucy's that didn't charge me for making them.
We will come. You can iron them and we will eat them.
I know how to make the best hot dog on an iron. Anyways, guys.
Heshy, you know how to make the best everything.
I do know.
had the best holiday with you.
You got it. And I had a lot of fun. And I usually talk about these young boys here. And I go to this Kumsitz every week by my friend Belstrol. He invites a lot of people. And
Tell everyone where it is.
I can't tell. Yeah, I could tell everybody.
Of course.
No, he doesn't. Look, I was saying 1576 46th. You just come over. Come over. No. He has a lot of food there. And you just pop in. Don't worry about it. Uncle Heshy is there for a little while. And you can have a good laugh with us.
Doesn't kumsitz mean come and sit? Everyone's invited. Right. That is the definition.
So anyways, these young boys, they sit there, and these young guys are very good guys. They help a lot of people going through a lot of issues, but we're going to talk about it. But before we get to your stuff, I want to ask your opinion on a lot of things. We have a very good, great president of the United States. His name is Donald Trump. I'm a Democrat. I'm embarrassed to tell you, and I'm going to be running for city council against Kalman Yeager, again, who does nothing. He takes
he does do something. I heard his show. You have to hear this.
Yeah.
He offered everyone the opportunity to call his office, and he'll tell them how to vote for him. I swear it was on Zebrin or Saturday night.
He's so busy. This guy is so busy working with religious schools on how to block smartphones instead of something. I give out 100 boxes every Thursday night to the poor, and there's a lot of other organizations that do it.
100 boxes of what? Smartphones? I'm coming.
We give out food to 100 different families, and there's other organizations that give out to hundreds
Can you
of families.
Tell our audience how to sign up for it?
You can come give us donations. We're always looking for money. $50, $100 every week. Get on our list. We have 100 families plus
so
that we support.
It's called Shevet Achim. How does someone call if they need help or want to give a donation?
Need help, you can call me or Rabbi Fish, and we will put you on our list, or we'll get you a family. You can call me on my cell phone or email me at justinofheshy@gmail.com, and I will get you in touch with Rabbi Fish. It's all confidential. Or if you have a family that's in need, give us their number. We'll contact them, and we give a beautiful box every Shabbos. We deliver. We're very small. We're only 100 families. And in your holidays, we give extra. And we have a lot of other stuff that we do. And there's a lot of good organizations like Masbia and Tumchei Shabbos and a lot of other places. And we're just one of many. And these are the things that everybody should be doing good stuff. So I forgot what I was telling you anyways, but who cares, right?
How much is it to sponsor a family?
Oh, you
for
don't have to.
Shabbos?
Well, usually we ask you to give whatever you want. We have guys on our list that give us money every week, $100. People give us $10. People just come and help us package the boxes. Some people just come deliver. So it doesn't really make a difference. Rabbi Fish is willing to take anything we want. We're located on 40th Street and 14th Avenue. You could drop off the money, call Mr. Rabbi Fish. He'll come pick up your monthly. He's a good guy. He's always around Borough Park and Flatbush. And even me, I mean, even though I come and pack the boxes, he makes sure to pick up his money beforehand because he doesn't trust me because I always come empty-handed. You know, I always somehow am emptied out. Call into the show 718-303-9090. Anyways, at this
I wanted to ask you something.
You keep asking, you keep interrupting me. You're not letting me talk.
Oh, I'm
so
not.
our president Donald Trump, and I'm a
It's
Democrat.
amazing.
But you're not letting me talk. You keep interrupting me.
I'm so sorry, but you know what I always tell people?
You can't
I'm
get
not
to
an
the boys.
interruption. I'm just an addition.
You are. You're wonderful. So I'm running as them again. Carmen Yeager and Senator Felder, they stand there with a box of matzahs and making believe they're handing it to somebody. And now they showed us pictures of 7 years ago during Hurricane Sandy, how they did something. 7 years ago they did something. I do something every day.
We better ask God for another hurricane.
Yeah, maybe. But anyways, here's my deal. Donald Trump is a man that is working hard, who fights the establishment. Just like me, we fight the establishment. We're constantly battling. You know, today I was sitting with an inspector for 3 hours. And I said, Inspector, he was looking to find something wrong. I said, look, we did everything to comply with code. And he was looking, and he actually found something on the plan that didn't match. I said, are you joking? And it's just, this is what they do. And this is what I feel like Donald Trump is going through, because every time he's trying to do something, they're hindering. So right now, the city of New York is not giving out new gas. This gas company decided not to give out gas, even though governor threatened them. And we called them up and we threatened. I had a young cancer patient now that's trying to get gas for his house. So when we called the company, I said to them, you know, you're wrong. We qualify. We're entitled to the gas. And so they said, call your congressman. I said, you know where my congressman is? He's busy sitting in Washington impeaching the president. He has nothing better what to do. He doesn't care about how people getting heat and gas for the house. He doesn't care about young boys on drugs. You know, there's only one place in all of Brooklyn called Safe that helps you with the drug program. One for 150. And I keep preaching about this every week on my show. We have 2 youth centers. I mean, kids are on the street. People don't believe that kids are on the street on drugs and alone and being thrown out of the houses. And I keep preaching about it, but that's it. We'll pick up that phone call in a minute. Dimitri will put him on hold. But forget about all of what I'm saying now. You know, so right now there's a bunch of big fires, and I'm sure you also on television and all over California, right? Instead of the senator of California running around trying to help, she's in Washington trying to impeach the president for something that they can't even prove, that's never going to happen, because they want to take over the presidency. They're wasting our time, spending $30 million on the Mueller report. Do you know we could have housed all of the homeless people in the United States? You know that, with that kind of money that we blew? Is this not a nerve what's going on? I mean, we just don't care about our people, our state senators, our councilmen. They spend $90 billion budget. They have no money for drug rehab centers and our people. Mental health, and this is my worst thing, but now before I get onto the thing, we have mental health problems. You know, people like me, I'm sick. I know I have problems. People hear me screaming on the radio. Look at Aaron saying, yeah, I know you're not normal. Look at you. You see the way he shook his head? You saw the way he shook his head? Yeah, I know you, wacko. You're nuts. This is my friend here talking to me. So we have people that have problems, and we need to help them. And we don't help them. But if you would have listened to the radio all week long, you hear the president of the PBA, the Police Benevolent Association, and the mayor coming on. Policemen, if you have a mental problem, stop killing yourself. They're actually going out suiciding. Yeah. Come in, we'll help you. Now, he's admitting that our policemen have mental issues, walking around with guns, arresting us, making us miserable, and we're not even evaluating them, you know, because half of the policemen are either divorced or having serious issues.
Did you hear what happened just 2 weeks ago? It was on the radio.
What?
2 police officers pulled a woman to the side, gave her a ticket, and told her that she has to come into the van because they have to have her signature and they raped her?
You know, it happened. You always have some bad policemen, but a lot of these policemen have issues, and we're not evaluating, and they're the ones that are pulling us over. They're the ones that are ticketing us. They're the ones we actually have to be scared of. And my problem is when they pull me over for a ticket and they make me suffer for half an hour, I'm sitting there shaking and I have to show my ID when I didn't do nothing wrong. Do you know that I have a young boy before Yom Kippur that was arrested for making a left turn? The cops saw him and he said, "Oh, your license is expired," which it wasn't expired, but some technical, and they arrested him. It took us 6 hours, 7 hours to get this young boy out of jail. Thank God on the DAT. And the cop knew it was Yom Kippur. And when I went into the synagogue, Bethel, this guy, Yoli Weiss, who was, he did a commercial for China.
Does everyone know what a DAT is?
And he, a desk appearance ticket. And this guy comes into and I screaming that the cops were just bad today. He starts making fun of me and the Flatbush girl. I said, the Flatbush girl gave you a job. I helped you out. So this fat little animal, and I'm fat too, don't get me wrong, just started making fun of me. And I said to him, "You're a fat little pig, you know, go to China Glock." You know what I mean? Anyways, it was Yom Kippur, it was bad. But anyways, I prayed and tried to do repentance. So that's my complaining, that we are wasting government time. We don't care about our people, and I'm very upset about it. And finally, you know how we complain about all the politicians are bad? The Democrats are just whacked in their brain. There's a lady called by the name of Katie Hill. I don't know if you know, if you read about it. She became a congresswoman recently, and of course a woman. What did she do? She started like all politicians, and I'm going to be a good politician. I'm not going to cheat on my wife and run around and steal money. But this one and all other politicians are bad, by the way.
The only thing is, if you're going to become a politician, you need a polish.
I don't have to be a polish. I'm straight out. I'm going to tell you the way it is. If you don't like it, and you know what, I'm not going to wear
They're
suits
going
at
to
the
call
debate.
you the unpolitically correct politician.
That's okay. That's fine with me. Anyway, so this
There's
lady,
another guy that I won that know that was like that.
Who was it? Who is it? Trump?
That's right. So, anyways, this lady, Katie Hill, is a Democrat moving up in the ranks. What does she do? A married woman cheats on her husband with her underling, with another person. She's upset that they took pictures of her and put it out on, and they put it in the news. So, I mean, it's incorrect, you know, a politician that's on the news that you're taking pictures of them because they have a private life. The problem with this woman is they took pictures of her naked, standing with a cross with another woman, smoking marijuana. Now, you really want to be a congresswoman? You better resign. I'm so happy she resigned. She wants to sue these people. And this is what the Democrats are. And now,
could you imagine if they had the pictures of the stuff that you've done?
Heshy has never done anything wrong. You're right. I've made my mistakes. But you know what? They do film me. They do watch me with garbage. They do accuse me. That's why Linda, my wife, is always calling me, never trusting me, checking on me for 29 years. I told somebody today, you know, this girl should have left me a long time. But you know what? She loves me. And I always say on the radio, I'm not sure what love is. I figured it out. Linda, my wife is love. I don't know what's wrong with her, but she loves me and she is love. And I appreciate every moment what she's done for me. And I've had 29 good years. Anyways, let's pick up the phone. We're going to talk. Let's see what somebody wants from us. Hello, you're on the air with Heshy, Aaron, Tzvi, Yehuda, Chaim, Rachel. How are you? And of course, Heshy, Big H.
Yes, Big H. This is Eddie from Dyker Heights calling.
Eddie, we love you. How are you? I love that you're calling. We needed somebody to call us.
Good. Listen, I'd like to make a suggestion because elections are next week. There is somebody running for public advocate. He's a conservative. He's one of, I think, the 4 or 5 Republicans on the city council. His name is Joe Borelli, and he's running for public advocate.
Very good. I heard about that. You even mentioned to him. I do see that he's a very good guy, but you know, he's not going to have a shot. You know that. He's not going to have a shot. I wish it. I'm going to go out and vote for him.
Good. That's all I'm asking.
I believe Joe Borelli should have a chance. And next week, we're going to have even a judge on our show, on our radio show here, that we're going to be preaching for her also, a Republican and a conservative. We need to make change in this city. We can't let a wacko mayor like we have right now telling our police officers, if you're mentally ill, no problem, carry your gun, and we'll give you some kind of psychiatric evaluation. My God, I'm really scared to be pulled over by a cop. I mean, at any time they can do whatever they want. Even the garbage men now don't even have to put your garbage away if it's too heavy or too big. This city can do whatever they want. Just punish and fine us, Eddie. I don't know what to do. We need to make changes. And you know what? We're going to start with me. And I promise you, I'm not going to let the city council. When you watch city council TV, how boring it is. When you see me on there, you're going to have a good laugh. You're not going to see like Councilman Yeager picking his nose and holding his mouth over there. doing nothing. I took a picture of that. I posted it all over Facebook. Everybody was having a good laugh.
You know, Big H, you were talking about the police. This fellow, Corey Johnson, who is the Speaker of the City Council, is pushing more and more for bikes and less for cars, making the congestion even worse.
I know. And the only thing that I agreed with him that he shut down Rikers Island because that was an animal house. You know, boys, Rikers, we lost a boy. I had a guy there also for about 2 years stuck in Rikers system. And it's just a place of loss. I mean, we don't want to help our people. Just because you put him in jail doesn't mean he deserves to be punished, Eddie. And we lose our kids there. And we're gonna have a story tonight from one of my friends over here on how bad it is. And you know what? Councilman Deutsch, who's too busy sitting on the trains, putting his hand around people, doing nothing and getting bus tickets done and taking fake pictures with Penny Ringo for his birthday, and Councilman Yeager, who's moving cones for parking spots. Actually, these are the two idiots that do nothing. They both voted no against Rikers, not to shut down Rikers. I mean, these guys just keep blowing our money. They don't know what's going on this planet. They have no idea. They make $250,000 salaries. They get their wives' jobs. I mean, I know Corey, it was, drug addiction and homosexual. But you know what? I'm not too happy with a lot of his policies, but at least he's somewhat normal. We need to make a change here. I know Mr. Deutsch is going to try to run for councilman senator, because his term limits. He's going to try to be a senator or congressman. Please, guys, the guy is zero, has not accomplished anything. He's on a mental health committee, and nothing has changed. No money has been given to us. Eddie, I love you.
Okay, have a good night.
Anyways, boys. This is our problems, and I'm very disappointed with a lot of things that are going in, and you guys should tell me. But now I want to talk to you, and Rachel, I want you to hear about these two boys' stories.
Okay, I just have one question before.
You always have a question for me.
Your body...
Am I good looking?
Fantastic.
Aaron?
Yes, very handsome guy, Heshy.
I love this man.
This picture.
Sweet didn't even say nothing to me. You know what I mean?
No, you didn't ask me. I didn't want to interrupt you. I know the rules.
No. You're allowed to interrupt.
Okay.
You just can't overtalk me.
I was going to say, the way I saw your wife looking at you, you must be handsome.
You're
wow.
And this is just these
wow.
guys.
Now he should run for politics.
You know what?
Absolutely.
I just want you to know, this week when I was walking into the office, I met this boy, Moshe Berlin, very nice boy. He had some issues with his life, and he was on a JetBlue plane, and he asked for some ice, but he stuttered, and the stewardess, I swear, thought he said the word ISIS. And she said that he's opening up the plane. He's going to kill 300 people on the plane.
Oh, ISIS.
I
thought ISIS like you eat.
No, the ISIS thing. So they jumped him. They beat him up. They arrested him. They put him in jail for 10 months because he said ISIS. Wow. He's now suing JetBlue because they put a flight attendant misheard the word ISIS. They put him in jail. He's suing them for $550 million.
I hope he wins.
I hope he wins also. But you know what I mean? Is that just crazy? We're just crazy people.
Someone told me USA stands for you can sue anyone.
Yeah, you know what? You always see these crazy lawyers. Oh my God, you have cancer from 1921? Sue. We have a lawsuit for you. I mean, everybody's just suing. And most of these lawyers are just idiots. I know because I hire them. Anyways, they work for me because they're just idiots. I have to teach them. So, boys, I want to talk to you something serious.
So I was trying to ask you a question.
Go ahead. We're never going to get to my guys over
here. If anyone's watching YouTube or Facebook, you don't look at me, your co-host. You look at them. I want to know if you're doing that trick. Like when you drive a car and you don't want the person to cut you off or ask permission, you just don't look at them. So if you don't want me to cut you off, you just look.
But
don't look at me.
You caught me off anyways. You know what I mean?
No, you asked permission.
You do. You're a good girl. Anyways, I want you to hear what these three special young boys do.
I definitely want to hear about it.
First of all, I want to ask you one question, and you too, Aaron. You know, drug addiction is a problem in our country. Not our state. I'm talking in our country. Most likely what people are telling me, I mean, when I go around talking to people, and I do complain about it, that the kids that are doing drugs or the people that are doing drugs, they did it to themselves. And we shouldn't help them. And they deserve to be whatever happens to them. And they should live on the streets. And you know what? They don't want to be helped. I mean, we all make mistakes. Sometimes, I didn't do marijuana in school. When I came out, I saw a lot of my friends doing it. And I asked them, why didn't you give it to me? They said, oh, we knew that you were nuts, but you never wanted to do drugs. And I was always scared of doing drugs. I knew that I'm a very addictive person. Like when I was smoking or eating, as you can see, I'm a little bit chubby. Just a little bit, right? I'm fluffy. She's not even saying anything. She blinks her eyes. Finally, she's quiet. Anyways, they're saying that the drug addiction problem is not so bad in America. Not only that, marijuana should be legalized. And I even have a father whose daughter overdosed fighting to legalize marijuana, which I am against 100%. If you're not there for your children, we get lost. People make mistakes. So just because somebody is addicted, we should just dump him, let him rot on the street. I mean, it's their fault, right? They want this to happen to them. They don't want the help. Is that the way it is? Explain to me who you are and Aaron and what you guys do and how and where you've come from. Explain to me how bad this is, and should we care or should we not care? And why doesn't the government care more?
So Aaron's about 100 pounds more than me in muscle. So I'm going to let him introduce himself first and maybe tackle this. Or would you like me to go first?
I'll definitely go first. I mean, Hesh, this is obviously a huge problem.
Really? Because nobody seems to care.
But I don't think they care, because if you really want me to get crazy, I believe that the government plays a role in this as well. If you really want me to go a little crazy.
I want you to go a little crazy.
Because big pharmaceutical, you always have to follow the money, Hesh, right? Big pharmaceutical has pushed opiates to made it mainstream. I would say the last 10 years in particular. And we've seen, I mean, here in Brooklyn, in our community alone, we've seen, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, you didn't have 18-year-old heroin addicts unless they were from, the other side of town.
Right.
If they were black or they're from a very poor neighborhood, they become heroin addicted, but not the middle class, not the upper class.
So it's acceptable for the poor black people to be on drugs?
No, this is an old thing.
How do we stop it? I mean, if we stop, I understand we're on drugs, but there has to be a way for us. I mean, not only are we not stopping it, Aaron, we're now approving, we're legalizing marijuana. We're telling you there is a gateway drug. I know what you're telling me, marijuana is not so bad, but I'm telling you that I have people that have gone to jail. And Aaron, you're going to tell us your story. I have people that have lived in my house that are on drugs, that I've helped get off of drugs. You're talking, I have kids that are crying, and I see it on the streets on Friday nights, kids that are being abused and living on spas that I can't help everybody. They're telling me there's no drug problem, and I'm telling you that not only is a drug problem, this meth, what is, I know what meth is, right? It's like some guy, again, they're doing meth now because it's cheap. But we're only into the opioids, and we're looking at the drugs people. Why? Forget that the drugs are out there. Why isn't there more places taking us in, helping these kids get off the streets, helping us do drug rehab? There's a great place in California that does such good work, right?
Yes,
I mean, a wonderful one. That's all I have. I have one place in New York City and 150,000 families. I have 73 suicides in my community.
Which one? Beit Shuva? Is that
Chabad,
that's no Chabad? I'm a Chabad person, but I don't think their rehab is actually successful.
It is in California.
We're looking at 3 success stories from
Chabad ones. Well, you guys are amazing. I think you defy the odds. Because
no,
absolutely not.
No, you're gonna wait. I want you to hear the
Beit
story.
Shuva, I know, has very good results.
But I want you to know we
second.
have 73 suicides of young kids in my community, and I'm telling you, I go see a lot of them. Do you know how many of my councilmen came to visit? 0. When one girl who was a big news, a 14-year-old, 15-year-old girl died, Klein, he went and took pictures all of a sudden with the father. But on all the other 73, he's not visiting. These are his community members.
Heshy 2020. That's all.
By the way,
say that. You hear this?
Heshy 2020.
Heshy 2020.
I'm going to step in here.
You better step in. You better stop this.
I'll tell you a couple things with this. I was listening to a comedian this week who was telling a little joke, and he said, "You know what? I want to go on a diet. So then when I have a salad at a restaurant, the guy next to me doesn't have to say, 'Good for you, good for you.'" And, that's kind of the same logic with this, is that, when we listen to people, you said there are people screaming from the rooftops. We see all these protests for whether it be a Trump protest or a protest against this or a protest against that, is the loudest voice gets heard. And as we all know, is that there are ignorant people in this world, and people will say that drug addiction is a moral dilemma, right? There's no disease behind it.
Right.
It's funny to me because that same person, if they get diagnosed with cancer, is going to a doctor and getting a diagnosis, and they're going to a cancer ward, and there's Medicaid places like you mentioned that I could go in and get help. Whether it's the best help out there, maybe not, but when it comes to addiction, there's not enough resources. And I think in a lot of different ways, from our community and beyond, I'm saying the resources are so limited, whether it be from state and government funded or even private pay. If you want to go to treatment and you have an okay insurance, it still costs you a good amount of money
Right.
to go to a decent place. And then there's also things, drug addiction is not the only thing out there. We have mental health issues, like you mentioned, which fall in line with eating disorder and sex addiction and gambling addiction,
Right.
where those are impossible. You might as well write those people off. And the
Exactly.
reason why it's so much easier to write them off is because of what it costs us as human beings.
But my
The
question to you is,
emotional
if
toll.
I legalize marijuana, all the money they're claiming, this $1 billion plus in taxes, will go to help us fund drug teachings and rehabs.
Yeah, just like gambling is sponsoring our schools. How much better did that go? You know
Nothing.
what I mean? So
got you.
it's a lot of times.
By the way,
is-
the California legalization of marijuana, they're saying we're supposed to increase revenue and help them out. They're saying that the black market has grown even more in California than the legalized market.
100%.
So you're
'cause
telling
now
me
if
that
you
we're
get-
going to put more people on drugs. And by the way, they're saying that anybody under 21 can never get the marijuana. Is that true? You know
I'm
that.
saying the same way like alcohol, right?
Right.
You just need to know the right guy. But I have a question for you, because this could be a good debate. Would you prefer marijuana or alcohol be legal?
The truth of the matter is,
If you had a choice.
I'm not a drinker, but I'll take a shot once in a while. And again, marijuana, you can't really tell if you're high. I mean, you can figure it out after a while. You'll get hallucinations or whatever it is. On alcohol, you could tell somebody's drunk,
For
even
sure.
if you can hold it. I don't like people drinking and over drinking, but at least, and there are people that, of course, have drinking issues and problems, and there's a lot of them. But drugs in itself is the worst.
Gotcha.
Marijuana, cocaine, heroin, and I'll go right down the list. Nothing. We got to stop it all. Just like we have to stop guns. You know that we have 7 guns per person in America. I mean, we just don't care about our fellow.
Heshy, you're really a
Americans.
Democrat, man.
I'm
Let me
not
tell
a
you.
Democrat.
Let me answer.
Democrats want to legalize everything, Medicaid, Medicare, tax us 80%.
But we have a second.
No, but
Amendment,
that's the extremist. That's the extremist. That's what I'm saying. A true Democrat doesn't want the whole healthcare. A true Democrat is not
Right.
what today's
I
Democratic
don't want
Party
I don't want free Medicaid for everybody. You're right. The people that need it, that need help, we need to fund it. Not everybody could make a living. Not everybody is above the poverty line, and especially the people that work. But to give everybody free schooling, I do believe, I really, truth to the matter is, in my heart, because I struggled through school, I do believe that school and education should be free in colleges, not the better colleges, but the regular education if you want it, because everybody should get a bachelor's degree. Will give you to the next level.
How would that have helped you in school?
You know what? If you have a bachelor's degree, anybody can go out and get a license, any kind of government license. You can get a process server. You can go on to the next step of being a lawyer, an architect,
Right.
a PA.
Israel actually pays
Right.
for
So,
the education.
so you
for higher
can you can
education.
end up, if you
Yeah,
once
but
you
those
get your
people
bachelor-
learn it by sitting in an army for 4 years
But-
and risking
right.
their lives on a daily basis.
Right, but getting at least a BA, then you can at least pay for your higher education if you want to continue forward to increase your revenue. So at least give them the basics, like free, like high schools or public schools are free. Give them the basic undergrad for free. And then afterwards you have to pay for it, but just don't tax the rich because they struggled and did a good life. Just
So I
don't
was
give
in
a health
shul
care
on
to everybody free.
I was in shul on Simchas Torah this week, or last week, and one of my good friends is a police officer, and he does a lot of work with us in California. And
I want to
helps
know
us
how you
out,
became his good friend.
he helps me bail people out, that guys that get arrested and stuff like that. He's been
How
very
did
good.
you meet him?
He davens at my shul.
Oh, he's a Jewish religious police officer.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's amazing. Works for the LAPD. He's a great guy. And he said to me, he goes, is Simchas Torah hard for you? Because I'm in recovery. And he asked me, Simchas Torah was hard for me. I said, no, it's the greatest day of the year. He says, why? I said, because all year, when I was using, the idea is that I used enough, so then I didn't have to remember how, what everyone thought of me, how everyone was doing. On Simchas Torah, I'm the luckiest man. I don't have to deal with the consequences of it, and no one remembers exactly what I did.
Tell us,
You know what? Not only that, all during the year, you're the designated driver on Simchas Torah.
Yeah.
You get to not drink
But
and not drive.
Tell us your story. Tell us anything that you want, if you want.
For sure. So my story goes like this. I was kid who grew up in Miami Beach, Florida. I had a lot of things going for me. My father was a big rabbi growing up in Miami, and I was one when he passed, and I could blame it on that. I could blame it on me living on my own when I was 14. But the bottom line is I had knee surgery when I was 18, got addicted to pills, and the next thing I knew, I was in treatment. And then the next thing I knew, I got out of treatment, and I thought just stopping was the answer because I grew up in Miami. I'm a white Jewish kid. I have no issues. Like, we don't get addicted, right? My uncle died of a cocaine overdose.
Where did you go to school?
Hebrew Academy.
In North Miami Beach?
Miami Beach.
Miami Beach.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Rabbi Debbie.
Rabbi Debbie?
No, Debbie's his wife. What's the name of?
That's his
what was the name
father.
of your principal?
That's his father.
Rabbi Haber?
Rabbi Haber. I know your mother.
Okay, okay.
L'chaim.
Wait,
Nice
wait.
to meet you.
We don't have to have a family, but we go ahead. Yes. So you didn't think you had an issue.
She broke my anonymity.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's what I do best. They call me the detective.
So I ended up using. I got out of treatment, and I had a great job, and my life was going well. I met my wife, and I just tried a little bit. One day, it was my birthday. I had some knee pain, quote unquote. Next thing I knew, had a kid, and I was 4 years into my marriage, and I couldn't, or 3.5 years into marriage, and I could not stop using. And I was so ashamed, so embarrassed. And my wife, we finally came out with it, and there was no place for her to turn to at that time. There were places like Jack's and stuff like that on the East Coast. There was really nothing like that. So I ended up going to Chabad Treatment Center, which does not work if you ask the lady to my right.
Well, I was playing devil's advocate because I love when anyone else defends Chabad and not just me. So thank you very much for that.
Well,
But
so
go
what I
ahead.
would say is Chabad does great work. It's one of the best sober communities out there in the sense that there's a group of probably 500 young men throughout the last 15 years that I've been associated with them that you could call anytime, and some of them might not even be sober, but they still feel a part of that family. And my wife and I was in treatment. Heshy, listening to this? I was in treatment, and they made you go on a pass with one guy every week. So the passes were you could take them Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, whatever. And we wanted to take ours for Shabbos, but the problem was that what am I going to take one guy home with me to my wife who I haven't seen all week, and it wouldn't make sense. So every week my wife used to cook for however many guys wanted to come, and we started off 5, 7, 10 guys. We had a room no bigger than this was our dining room.
Wow.
And it ended up being 13 guys, 15 guys. Next thing I know, I finished the program. I started volunteering there. I had a great gig. I was
So
working.
did
really
you move
hard.
out to California?
Yes, I moved out after my first time in 2009.
Wow.
But
And
your
you still live
marriage
there?
wasn't affected by this.
So of course it was. It took a lot of hard work, and that's why sobriety is not about stopping to use drugs. They say drugs and alcohol are the answer to my problems. So anytime you see someone using, that's not their issue. Their issue stems from way deeper than that.
Of course.
That is their solution to their problems. So you have to sympathize with the use because the use is their solution. It's like
They're covering up a different pain.
yeah, but even more so than that is that it is the thing that allows them to function.
I was at an event recently with Yehuda, and I heard a story that he had a friend who was using drugs badly, and one day he just took the guy and threw him out on the street and said, "Listen, this is the way it is." I mean, is that true, Yehuda? What happened on that story there? I mean, was that tough love? Is that what we have to do? I mean,
Well,
I
at
don't believe in
times, I
tough love.
think-
It hurts me,
I
tough
think
love.
as a community and parents, we have to show the warm love in the beginning. But when somebody's been through it many times and he kind of running his own show, at times you just got to tell him enough is enough.
But leaving him on the street, maybe he'll die. He'll kill himself.
He knows the help. He
What
knows that
happened? What was the outcome?
He turned great. I saw the boy. He
He's
told the
13
story.
months sober now, and he's doing well back with his family. He's doing really well. So
You did a great job. I heard you were with him. You took his phone calls. You take him.
well, he knows there are people that want to help and love him, and when he's ready to get help, he knows who to turn to. And Aaron and Svi are testimony to.
And I want to hear now, Aaron. I want to hear your story because yours is very interesting.
Hold
You
on
guys,
one
yeah,
second.
go
I
ahead.
want to say one thing before you go. It's so funny to me because in our community we have Rebbeim look at our wives' underwear once a month to make sure it's okay, but yet we don't go to a professional, right? For this help is that we try to do it on our own. We go to a rabbi. we go to our rabbi. We go to our teacher. We go to someone who has no clue, and we let them guide us. I don't go to a dentist when I have mechanic problems. If I have, did you tell them about what your eye doctor said? Hold on, did
our
you-
councilman goes to the rabbis all the time.
Did you tell them what the eye
That's
doctor
because
said?
they're going to say what he wants them to say, and the rabbis don't want to send you to professionals unless those professionals are under their wing and going to
Correct.
say what they want.
Well, there's
unless
certain
rabbis-
rabbis that don't, and there's certain rabbis that do. And I think it's important that we acknowledge that that mental health is a disease.
Then how come none of the sects, all of the big organizations, don't have in their school, and they get over $160 million, which I don't know where that money's going, that Kalman Yeager is helping them get with Senator Felder, and none of it is going. You don't see any of the schools have mental health. You don't see any of these schools having drug rehab.
In New Jersey, they do.
I'm not talking. Base Rivka, but that's Lubavitch. But Lubavitch is not really getting money from Felder and Yeager. Okay, these guys are throwing. I'm talking my community that I don't see any of it going into. Again, like I told you, one drug rehab center.
Heshy, what can you do or anyone else?
I'm going to get up and scream. I'm going to start telling, look,
Heshy
everybody.
2020.
That's right, Heshy 2020, and you understand what 2020 means when you have good
Hindsight.
vision, hindsight, right? To have good vision.
I just
So
want to
make
point
Heshy
out how you
2020.
just ruined my joke. I was going to say I went to Heshy's optometrist last week because my eyes were hurting, and I asked him, Heshy, Heshy's a younger guy, but through all these years and all the stuff that he does, I can't believe he doesn't need glasses.
True.
He goes, why would he need glasses? He has 2020 in the bag.
That's right. I love you. You ready? Guys, next year.
Rachel didn't get that joke.
Rachel doesn't get that joke. Rachel never laughs at any
2020
joke.
is vision.
So
It's perfect
now I wanna
vision.
hear-
but
I wanna-
2020 is running for 2020.
Cool.
So,
I want to hear Aaron's
now it's
story.
not as funny. Go for it.
Aaron,
I think
tell
it's
us-
the
tell
best
us-
story in the room.
Go ahead. Tell us the story.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that that glorious or that it's really not that great of a story, but same situation.
You know what Yossi Jacobson says when people get up and say, I don't know why they chose me. He goes, if you don't know why, sit down. If it's not a great story, don't tell it. We think it's a great story.
Thank you.
Don't ruin it.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So I was just trying to be a little humble, but the bottom line is, similar to as Tzvi said, I had a problem since I could remember. Drugs were a solution for me, believe it or not. It also started for me with
How did you get to drugs?
Same situation and this is what we were talking about, big pharmaceutical with the opiates, which is the chemical base in Percocet, Oxycontin, oxycodone, the list goes on and on. That's an addictive compound. That's super addictive. I mean, it's created by the government to get rid of your pain, but it's highly addictive. Same thing. I had some knee issues, and when the doctor stops, when you overuse your prescription before the end of the month and you're sick because you go into withdrawals, you need a solution. And my solution was to continue down that path, not to be too specific about where it took me, but it took me to worse places than just pills. When you're in that lifestyle, when you're living that way, you can't really hold a job. You can't do the things that most people can do. So I started living in that lifestyle as well, selling drugs, dealing with the wrong company. And to make a very long story short, in 2012, I got arrested in a huge, like a 6-month thing they called Operation Sundown, after sundown, because the media spun it to be like a bunch of Shomer Shabbos kids selling drugs and toting guns.
Religious kids.
But nobody was religious. But
You
either way,
came from religious families.
no, not even. I mean, I did, but probably the rest of the people did not.
Okay.
But
But did you sell to people who are religious? Is that what it was called?
it was
after
just
sundown?
we're right here in the neighborhood, Sheepshead Bay. So I mean, I guess just everyone happened to have been Jews. So that's kind of how they took it. But that was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Because that started my life going the other way. So I actually went out to a treatment center in Los Angeles where I was roommates with this guy, Tzvi, and it started my life on an amazing path. And I would go back and forth from LA to New York every month, which New York City was actually great to me. I would say that I had a lot of problems with this city, but when it came to this, they allowed me to go out to California and straighten myself out and leave. I was facing originally a 22 felony indictment. That was what I was dealing with. I was fighting in court 11 felonies, which were all serious. I was told at the time of when we were arrested that I was going to be away for at least 10 to 15 years.
Wow.
But we one thing I will say is that
Did Aleph Institute help you?
no. So
Really?
I will say that it's funny. We were talking about Rikers because I was on Rikers, which was another blessing. I got an amazing gift from God for the time that I did. But that's another problem with Rikers is I was on Rikers and the chaplain was a waste of time. The chaplain did absolutely nothing. There was no Jewish presence. There's a kid that's been on Rikers Island from Flatbush here, 20 years old. He just got sentenced. He's been there for 2 years. He got a 5-year bid. He's doing in New Jersey, 19 years old. He's been there since he's 19. He's probably 21 now. there's nothing there for us. There's nothing on Rikers Island for us. But that's
Tell them
another
the story about what happened with.
Oh,
with
you want to hear the
Jack.
greatest story ever with the Tehillim? Did I tell you the story with the Tehillim? That
He
actually
probably
came from the
did,
Aleph
but he
Institute?
couldn't remember. He wasn't listening.
Right. Heshy's always thinking about his own fun.
That's right.
So-
That's right.
yeah.
I'm thinking how good looking I am, how I'm going to lose weight, how I'm going to get elected, and how I'm going to hide my money from Linda because that girl goes through my pockets. I mean, she
Well,
finds
Heshy,
every
he set
dollar I
you up
have.
so well when
I
he
know.
said, "Well, New York was so good to me that they allowed me to go to California." I was gonna. You were supposed to say yeah because they didn't want to fit the bill. I thought that's
No,
where you
no,
were
no.
gonna go
I
with
like
it.
it. Stop it. But Aaron, you are now. Your life is back to normal.
We want to hear the story. Go ahead.
Before he goes to the story, are you married?
I'm married. I have 2 children. I'm married to a beautiful girl. I have 2 beautiful kids.
What will stop you from going back to drugs?
Um,
How are you able to get off? I mean, if you're able to get off,
I just have
then-
today. Honestly, Hesh, I really don't even think that far ahead. I've been doing this, thank God, one day
One
at a time.
day
six
at a
and
time.
6.5 years. And
do you go to these what's it called again?
Yeah,
meetings?
we started actually. The 3 of us here started a meeting, a Jewish fellowship meeting on Wednesday nights. I'm a big part of Alcoholics Anonymous here in South Brooklyn. I still
Can
go.
anybody come?
Can anyone come to which?
Can
meeting?
anybody come to the
Yeah,
meeting?
you can bring a friend.
To which meeting?
To any of you.
If
meetings?
I mean,
Heshy-
there's open meetings, there's closed meetings. Absolutely. If you're curious, if you want to know more about it, if you have a loved one who's addicted, and you
don't
want to
have to be
understand
Jewish,
it,
do you?
no, of course not.
Anybody can come.
We're open to all as long as you want the message of recovery.
How young have you seen kids using drugs?
10.
No way.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
just
my
dealing
God.
with the kid right now. He's 10 years old.
How could this be? It's not possible, according to our councilmen and senators and congressmen that are so busy with doing nothing, not even letting the whole town burn down, 50,000 homes on fire, and she's busy making
So
impeachment.
it's not necessarily their fault, right? I'll say who it is. It's actually their voter, right? The parent who thinks just as sick and doesn't parent their kid, right? I
Right.
say this all the time: is trauma is generational. It doesn't happen. You know, my family who survived the Holocaust, who went through all their stuff, I still have some of their trauma, whether it be something stupid like, you know, like I don't want to sit in a train because I feel like I'm in a cattle car. You know what I mean? Like whatever that might feel like for me. So that goes generationally, and some people care more to sit in their problems and to say, oh, the drug addict kid on the street that's his problem. I have my life, but meanwhile, when you behind closed doors, you know, that they are who they are, and really that's who you are, right? Being in public is
So
is
there
great,
are a
but
lot of young kids throughout the United States on drugs, little kids, 10,
100%.
12 years old.
There's actually,
How did they get a hold of those drugs?
you know what? I haven't been that age for a while now, but no,
But
I'm
did
just
you ask
joking.
the boy
I
that you
say
was-
it like this.
No, because I remember as a kid in yeshiva, and I was in 8th grade, and so on, and there was guys going around selling pills and
But 10-year-olds don't have money. If we know
We
how
do
to
have
get
time-
a hold
time-
of it,
time-
Hold
You're
on.
making a mistake.
Times
We
are
always
very
have
different
money. I
now.
used to work all the time. I had money. What are you
No,
talking
but a
about?
10-year-old doesn't need. I'm saying it. There's things around the house. You know, if I have a 7, 5, and 2-year-old, right? But in
Right.
3 years from now, I'm not going to think to hide the tzedakah, the charity box, or I'm not going to think to hide my wallet. Like it's a 10-year-old. What are
True.
you thinking? And you know, one of the things that we forget about our 10-year-olds is that a kid is the most impressionable person in the world, right? Someone who's bare, someone who has not, like, they're looking for
Correct.
one thing, and it's attention. And that's why it starts at home. And not saying that every, you know, kids that go off like that, it might not be at home. Something might have happened to them at school that you know, or someone did something to them in a way that they should never have done. You know, so there's also outside issues, but from a parenting perspective, it's our responsibility to nurture our children.
I love you. See, I was with my, you know, when I was younger, my parents also are Holocaust survivors, and I saw my father, who was a very tough, strong guy, sometimes in the middle of the night, shiver, you know, cry and stuff like that. You know, we didn't have a lot of money a lot of times, and then my father did become successful. My vacation time when we were given off from yeshiva, what we did was to have a good time was my mother gave us a token, which was 35 cents, and pizza was 35 cents back in time. So you can see how old I am. And she says, get on the train and come back tonight. And me and my little brother, we bought a slice of pizza, took a banana, we got on the train, went to Harlem, and some people said to us, what the hell are 2 little Jewish boys doing there? We said, we're here for a train ride. And then we went back because it was free. You know, you can go back on the other side for free. So I'm just telling you that I understand what it was being a kid and just not being watched and taken care of. And I'm happy that me and my brothers came through it. When I became a father, I've always been on top of my kids. I even had a bunch of foster kids that came to our house. One young kid that we had some issues with sent me a text message and says, "Thank you. You're my inspiration. You've always been there for me," because he had issues also. His family didn't care about him. And that's why when we have our foster kids, I understand when they're lost. I was always there. Being a parent, it was a responsibility. And it's not a responsibility for 2 days. It's every day. You got to hug them. You got to kiss them. You got to be on top of them.
And
you
you have to do
and
a
they're going to hide from you too. And you got to feel them. And I always knew that it's a full-time job and always feeling them. And even to this day, they're 27, 28. I still hug them and kiss them. And I know that when there's something wrong, I'm going to try to find it out. And if I can't, I can't.
2020 Heshy, you didn't do your shout out to Mira Nava.
Right. My granddaughter, my beautiful granddaughter, 8 months old. She has a cold, by the way, today.
Before Shalima.
Thank you.
Let me-
She's 8 months old.
Hesh.
Mira Nava, I shout out to you, even though my daughter-in-law doesn't let her listen to television and watch TV and listen to radio.
What it's a day.
She says, "Yeah, big H is not normal."
Hesh, let Svi tell us a little bit about what we're doing in California.
Good. You got a few
Please.
minutes, so go ahead before our show ends. Go ahead. Tell us
You
what you're
got
doing
it.
in
So,
California.
well, I want Aaron to say a story, but I'll say it real quick. So I was telling you about the dinners that we used to do. So from that, my wife and I started something where we host people in recovery every other Friday night at our house. We help people get into treatment for free. We don't make $1 on it. We
Do
actually
you
don't-
live here now or in California?
I fly back and forth because I have my work's out here, and I
so the
go-
Shabbos meals are in
the
California.
Shabbos meals are in California. We have 100 to 125 people that are interested in recovery. So about 80 of them will be in recovery, 40 of them will be family support, so on and so forth. But it's be who you are recovery. It's, some people are coming in for drug addiction, gambling, sex, like we spoke about. And one of the things is we give them a community to feel like they're a part of and a resource that most people don't have. We get therapy sessions for a cost that you couldn't get a cup of coffee sometimes. Really, whatever you could pay for it, we'll get it for you. And it's important. Last week I was dealing with a kid that was suicidal. He was telling me he wanted to kill himself. He was telling me how he used to watch porn when he was 12, and his father took the magazine and shamed him in front of all his siblings. And today he's in treatment. And this is a week later, and he had $0 to his name. I got one of his friends to go out there, raise money for him. We raised the $5,000 it cost. We got him to an amazing place, and $5,000 pays for your food and roof over your head, as we know in this country at this point. So, we got scholarships around the country to help people. And I think it's important that people know that these things exist, whether it be Amudim, whether it be ourselves, the YY House, or whether it be, the Jacks, the different organizations out there, that you're not alone, no matter who you are, no matter what you are, no matter how religious, irreligious, no matter Hasidish, no matter Litvach, it doesn't matter who you are.
Jew,
We're out there.
not Jew, black.
Not Jew.
Well, I mean, this you sure? Because I was told that only black people do drugs.
Yeah, well, I was also told
I have
that.
one question.
So it's not
actually,
true. So the drug problem is it's not. I mean, that was a joke. You guys understand
Yeah,
that,
of course.
But I would believe only women would do drugs. I was told today I'm not allowed to make fun of women.
Heshy,
Why?
this woman on the show is feeling neglected.
No, but why was I told we have a call? Let's take one quick call. I don't even know how to pick it up. Hello, you're on the air with Heshy. You got a minute phone call.
Hi, Heshy. How are you?
Good.
I'm just gonna say my first name. My name is Rolly. First, I'd like to apologize. I called you this week one day. It was late, but I know you're always there for the crowd.
Tell her what time you called me, Swilly.
I know that people don't appreciate you enough, what you do for all the Moses and Borough Park and what you do for people individually. However, being that your name is Heshy, you're always available for people. I didn't realize that it was past 1 a.m.
And I still picked up the phone.
You did. And I had no way of hanging up because there were other people on the phone. And I felt very bad after.
You got it, my brother. You know you're always welcome to call. Thank you. Thank you so much
And
for the
we
call.
missed you at Mrs. Wolf this Shabbos. I hope to see you this
I
coming
will.
Shabbos.
I will. I come. That's one of my people. We go visit. You're a
We
wonderful
can't,
boy.
compare her smile when Hashy's around or when she's not around.
I love you. You're such a good man. Thank you so much, Swilly, for calling into the show.
We love you and go strong, Hashy.
You got it. Don't forget my support. 2020. Bye, bye, Swilly.
I think Shirley needed to hear Aaron's story of Rikers.
Go ahead,
I think
Aaron.
the
100%.
reason why it's so important is
I wanna
because it
hear
shows how powerful getting sober
You got a
is,
minute?
and
Because
it
we
shows
have
how
one more thing.
powerful
Go ahead.
opening.
Tell us
Go
what
ahead.
I'm going to
happened
say
in
it very fast. So I was on Rikers Island, and I'd asked the chaplain. I wanted to know when was Jewish services. I see the Muslims go out. I'd see the Christians go out multiple times a week. I'd be like, when's Jewish services? They didn't know. They got back to me a couple of days later. Jewish services are Wednesday at 1 p.m. Maybe I was thinking Friday night, Saturday, Wednesday, 1 p.m. I asked the chaplain, I asked the chaplain very quickly, do you have a Tehillim? No, I don't carry books. A week goes by. Now, Tehillim was a book that I got very close with when I was in Chabad, when I was in treatment.
It's a prayer book.
Correct, the book of Psalms. So to make a long story short, they come into my cell where we were, the corrections officers, and they do something called a toss, where they bring the dogs in, they check for drugs, they make you take your clothes off. They're looking for contraband, weapons, things like that. They leave. My cellie had a bunch of magazines, pornographic magazines. In the middle of those magazines, I think I see Hebrew letters, and I move the magazines over. And what do I find? I find a book of Psalms. You cannot make this up from the Aleph Institute. That's just crazy. That's God speaking to me through other avenues. I know we have no time, but I just have to make
Anyways, our show is at the end. Thank you, our sponsors. I want to have one question for all of you quickly. Can America deal with a gay president? Because a guy who's gay is running for president. Yes or no, Rachel?
Absolutely not.
Tzvi?
I say yes.
Wow. Chaim? Yes. Wow. Yehuda?
100%.
A gay president, please tell me.
It's a man's world. It's a man's world.
Absolutely, as long as he has the right policy.
Thank you for listening to our show. Come back next week, everybody. I am running for city council against Kalman Yeager while he's moving the codes. He won't be running for office. Thank you, everybody.
The opinions and views expressed therein do not necessarily reflect those of AM 620 WSNR or its management.
This